Let's get started with the news, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started with Thumb on the Pulse. This is going to be my intro. Thumb on the Pulse is a bi-weekly news show that we do here on stream where we inform you guys of a lot of the new gaming news that has come up over the last couple weeks, kind of let you know what kind of news gets my heart racing. So let's get started, shall we? I wish I had paper stuff. Alright guys, so every time we do the news, it tends to be a theme that we start off with gaming console news. So let's go ahead and pull up that familiar graphic and get that started. Hooray! Broadcasting! Alright, starting off strong with console news, both PS5 and Xbox. We did get reports on sales numbers, which is kind of interesting. Famitsu, which is a Japanese, I would imagine a Japanese economic reports company, found that PlayStation 5 sold 118,000 units in just 4 days, as opposed to the Xbox Series X and S only sold about 21,000 units in Japan in 6 days. Now, those are just rough release day sale numbers from Japan. We still don't have any concrete sales numbers from the US. I did check that yesterday when I thought I was going to do the news yesterday, and we still don't have any updated numbers. The disc PS5 version sold 103,901 units. The PS5 digital version, little less on that, about 14,184 units, as opposed to the Xbox Series X, or the disc version of the Xbox, selling 16,247 units, and the discless or Series S selling 4,287 units. I did want to mention that firstly, the sales are a little bit lower, actually significantly lower than they were for the PS4, which had shifted more than 300,000 units during its Japanese launch in 2013. Now, granted, that launch did come a little bit later to all of the other regions and didn't have the pandemic to take into consideration. But secondly, the Xbox Series X also has sold fewer copies. Famitsu reports that the console is sold out in Japan currently, and that the retailers have been conducting lottery sales for the Xbox, which is an indication as to why those numbers are a little bit lower than the PlayStation or than Sony's is. So that's just interesting news on the consoles. But switching from console news, we are going to talk a little bit about news with Twitch. That's why I was debating whether I talked about all my Twitch affiliate stuff right now or before the news. Twitch has recently signed a contract with a company called Monstercat. If you're not familiar with Monstercat, Monstercat is a music service company or a music streaming company, kind of like SoundCloud, but instead of being partnered with popular artists and label signed artists, it's entirely dedicated to copyright-free music. Monstercat just signed a contract with SoundCloud that's expanded their library of copyright-free music tremendously, and after that happened, Twitch took into consideration the idea of partnering with Monstercat. Now, that is officially taken place. Monstercat has a $5 a month gold subscription service that now is partnered with Twitch to unlock affiliate status. We were talking a little bit about affiliate status before the news started and the ups and downs of becoming affiliate. Paying to be affiliate seems a little counterintuitive, to say the least. Being the fact that affiliates join the affiliate program in hopes of monetizing their stream, as well as furthering their brand and branching out into other venues, the Twitch affiliate program itself kind of limits you to that. And the fact that people are paying to try to make revenue is also a little sus. Traditionally, a streamer needs to unlock the affiliate program by meeting a set of criteria, and that criteria is 50 followers, 500 total minutes of broadcast time over 7-day time frame, and an average of 3 or more concurrent viewers. Alternatively, starting this week, now you can just pay, like we had said, for that Monstercat Gold subscription and become affiliated through the new Twitch program. However, we did get information, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago, that Monstercat is now retracting some of their information on this gold membership. In an article that was posted 4 days ago by a website called ScreenRant.com, Monstercat now states that the company is backpedaling a little bit because there was such a big uproar from the Twitch community and current affiliates about being able to just pay to be affiliated. They're backpedaling now, and the label is claiming that in the deal they had originally discussed and contracted with Twitch, they had never really discussed the idea of immediately becoming affiliated once you signed this contract. Even though there's evidence like marketing that they had put out that would prove otherwise, Monstercat is backpedaling now, I would imagine just to save face from a PR perspective. So We'll have to inform you guys again in the future on how that's going, but it's pretty interesting how little value Twitch puts on the affiliates in general, and the affiliate program that they themselves have created. I wish I had more details for you guys, but again, we'll report more on it as time progresses. However, this is the best part of the news, where it's a little bit less boring technical stuff and a little bit more exciting new game stuff. We're going to talk about new games that are coming out here in the future. One of the games we're going to talk about first is Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean Genshin Impact. I mean Ocean's Heart. We've been discussing a lot of games that have been coming out lately that have similar characteristics to Zelda games, similar play styles to Zelda games, and similar art styles to Zelda games. This one is no exception. Where we have the Japanese Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Chinese Genshin Impact, now we have the Lithuanian Ocean's Heart. Steam and Switch release only. This is going to be an action RPG featuring detailed pixel art with a heavy focus on exploration, which takes place in a lively world teeming with secrets and mysteries. So many air quotes on that one. You assume the role of a character named Tilia, who is determined to find her missing father. Storyline is a little bit different, obviously not saving princesses or anything like that. Whoop! But if you look at this image right here, what stands out to you? The shrine in the image is very, very Hyrulean. The clothing that our fearless hero Tilia is wearing, awfully inspired by Hyrulean fashion. From the boots to the design on the tunic. The sword is very, very bland as far as the graphics, but again, it looks very similar to old... What did I say? When I was talking about this with Foxfire, we had discussed that this looks like a combination between Zelda's Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I being too critical of this? Are people just taking creative liberties with Breath of the Wild? I have no idea, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Moving on to the next game that's coming out soon, a game called Immortals: Fenyx Rising. They're going to be getting 3 different expansions. Introducing more Greek, Chinese, and potentially Norse mythology. We're going to have 2 new heroes that are added to 2 of the 3 expansion packs. From what I understand, the first expansion pack, or A New God, will just utilize the existing characters and gameplay that you have. However, within that software and within the world of Fenyx Rising, we're going to move on to Myths of the Eastern Realm, the second expansion pack, which gives us our first new hero. So you'll be playing through that entire storyline as a different character completely. I think Fenyx is the name of the hero that we play in the whole game. And then in the third expansion, The Lost Gods, you'll get that third character, or that second new character. This is unlocked by the season pass, so there will be other daily and weekly quests if you don't decide to get the upgrades. So keep in mind that even if you play Fenyx Rising but don't purchase the 3 expansion packs, you'll still be able to get new daily and weekly quests, cosmetics, and other things that you can unlock just by playing the game as normal. Another new game that we're super, super excited about is going to be the new Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village. The rumored release date is going to be late April based on some leaks coming from Capcom directly, also investigative reporting from third-party sites. The calendar also shows May as the tentative release date for the recently announced Resident Evil Netflix series called Infinite Darkness. I do know, just from little emails I get from time to time and having a little bit of inside scoop on the industry, that they have already started casting and doing some, what is it called, principal photography for Netflix's Resident Evil series. So that's very exciting, but the game itself looks incredible. And if you guys haven't seen any gameplay, we will be putting a link in the description down below for all the trailers to all these games, I hope. So look forward to that. And also let me know down below if you are interested in Resident Evil. I still have a bunch of Resident Evils on my Steam account that I'd like to crank through before this one is purchased. I would like to say before it comes out, but I don't think that's possible. So yeah, we'll be cranking through some more Resident Evils on stream. I hope I get to hang out with you guys while I do that. The one that I will be purchasing within the next week or so, though, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the 12th mainline Assassin's Creed game in the series. Valhalla, the game, after when it was released on day 1, doubled Assassin's Creed Odyssey's initial player game count. So that's impressive. This is the highest game count for any PC launch for Ubisoft to date. The total number of sales isn't out yet completely, but it is a safe assumption that 3.5 million units were sold, which outsold, if that's accurate, that completely outsold Call of Duty Black Ops on launch day, without question. So if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, that means you also are a subscriber to Prime Gaming. You just have to connect your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and then you'll have that Prime Gaming access. There are exclusive items for Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the Prime Gaming atmosphere, including skins for your Raven that turns your bird into a pigeon. I think it's called the Carolingian Dynasty Gear Pack, is what they're calling that exclusive content. It includes a gear set, a mount, a shield, a weapon, Naval Pro, and skin sets. Skins for your Raven, things like that, just going to be coming down the pike as this game gets more and more popular and played more and more. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I'm a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed series. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have an Assassin's Creed Revelatories? I can't remember the name of that one. But I have that t-shirt when I used to work at GameStop. I've been a fan of it since we were first introduced to the Animus. I love that game. I cannot wait to become a Viking and create my own Viking lore and go on raids and get in my boat. And I didn't get to play Black Flag very much, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so I missed out on a lot of that introductory boat battling or boat combat. So very, very excited to pick this one up, and I can't wait to show you guys. We're moving on to another new game, or I guess new game news. Rather, this is a new game completely. Sorry, not new game news, but new game completely. This one's called Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Now, this is another fun, interesting title, kind of like last week where we talked about that tax evasion game. God, I can't. Turnip Boy pays his taxes, or whatever it was called. This is another one that's got a very similar, no, not similar, a very unique concept to it that I don't think I would traditionally be interested in a game like this, maybe? But I do want to pick this one up. I am very intrigued by this one. Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Until today, it was exclusively available to Chinese gamers only. However, they are expanding it to the United States as of today through Steam. This game is a game where you play a spiritual leader looking to ascend to godlyhood, basically through cultivation. Now, cultivation is the key word here because you are in a more Taoist type of way trying to cultivate followers. The Taoist concept takes the idea of gathering people together, gaining supernatural powers by practicing meditation and martial arts, and as you build your own religion, basically, and attract different disciples and train those disciples, you'll progress through the game. Each campaign is played on a randomly generated map, hopefully making it unique to every single experience, with different events on those unique maps that can trigger at any time. Right, like I said, as of yesterday, it was an early access on Steam, but as of today, you can get the full version with a English localization on Steam for about $25. So if that game sounds intriguing at all to anybody, feel free to check it out. Maybe check out the description on Steam and see if it's something you're interested in. I'm really intrigued, guys. It definitely seems like a mental game that I want to at least dabble in a little bit. Moving on from new games, we do have news in existing games, games we play, games we know we have friends that play. Phasmophobia is getting a new prison level. This is super exciting because the developers have kind of showed off some of the screenshots from the cafeteria, the yard of the prison, and a visitor's meeting area. It looks huge, but the developers are considering this map just a medium-sized map, which is a bit confusing to some of the Phasmophobia fans that I've talked to recently in discovering that they have promoted this new map. I haven't played a lot of Phasmophobia lately. I've got plans to play with some streamer friends later this month, so keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited to jump into this new prison level, though, and see what kind of tasks they've got for us and what kind of ghosts they have to attack us within. After Phasmophobia, we do have Animal Crossing news. I have kind of teetered off on my Animal Crossing activity lately. Animal Crossing New Horizons has got new news. First and foremost, Animal Crossing was nominated for Game of the Year. It was also nominated for 2 other awards in the Game Awards of 2020, Best Multiplayer Game and Best Family Game. The game already got its update, but it's slowly releasing bits of the update as the rest of the year progresses. We are about to partake in the Turkey Day event tomorrow. American Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and on Animal Crossing, I'll probably be streaming a little bit of that event just to partake in Chef Franklin's turkey dinners. He'll be coming to the island, and he'll ask everybody to make food dishes for rewards, so that's going to probably launch a little bit of that cooking and crafting and manufacturing that is supposed to be introduced to us throughout the next few months in Animal Crossing. They made an app for island transfers, so that's really neat. I'm assuming that means within the Nook phone, you can transfer from island to island with the app, and now you can explore random dream islands. So you don't have to have a list of friends that you can only go back and forth between friends' islands. You now have the ability to visit anybody's island at random, which is really neat and should expand a lot of the creativity for people on their islands and the way they design their islands and things of that nature. A lot of the times we feature innovative ideas that people have implemented in Animal Crossing, like the sports that have been able to play, like the fact that you can play Among Us in Animal Crossing, things like that. This should be another step towards more innovation in Animal Crossing. So I'm really excited to see where all of this goes. Bink! Among Us is in the news as well. They got a new map teased to gamers about a week ago, I want to say. So far, the leaked information and leaked images have shown that it might be some sort of spaceship that we're on. I have also seen teasers that it might be Star Trek like based, not themed or like contracted, but look a little bit more like a Star Trek. It looked kind of like the bridge of Star Trek, but I could be just shooting for the stars here. More information will be coming on that as we go about. I think it's during the Game Awards on December 10th. We previously mentioned the Game Awards in regards to Animal Crossing, but the Game Awards will be airing on December 10th on YouTube as well as their website and many other places. Among Us in particular is up for 2 prizes, Best Multiplayer and Best Mobile Game. Maybe check out the Game Awards and see which of your favorite games win anything big. One of the games that I've been a big fan of, but haven't put a lot of time into, is Microsoft's Flight Simulator. Not many updates to the game itself are coming out, but a lot of modification or mods are coming out for the game. The one most recently that I just wanted to point out a little bit more exclusively is this fall edit. When my researcher at Eternal Foxfire came to me with this information, I was so excited to hear that maybe I'd have to update Microsoft Flight Simulator, but that's not the case. But they did put modifications so you can add it to the game and fly over a bunch of gorgeous fall scenery. I'm debating whether I download it or not, just because I do want to go. I've never been to the East Coast during the fall, and I'd love to leaf watch without, causing traffic jams. Moving on to the next one, which is one I put a lot of time and effort into, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So we've got a little bit of news on this one and a little bit of fun news on this one as well. Miles Morales has been a huge hit. It sold tons of copies. In fact, let me put up those stats. So I don't have any numbers on Miles Morales right now, but because Miles Morales came out, it did put the first Spider-Man game that came out for PS4 over 20 million in sales for that game. So I can only imagine that Spider-Man Miles Morales came out with a bang. And again, like I'd mentioned, it was the #1 selling game for PS5's launch. So keep that in mind. Selling tons of units and a hugely popular game. The graphics look incredible. The skins that you get to change throughout the game on Spider-Man look phenomenal. However, there have been quite a few glitches in Spider-Man Miles Morales. In fact, a lot of the glitches are from inanimate objects. For example, Spider-Man has been changed into a brick. Spider-Man has been changed into a pallet of food. He's also been changed into a reflective box of graphic, just pixels. I do have a video playing right here. So if you want to check out any of those will be playing during the YouTube video as well. But if you have any news of any glitches that you've come across, I'd love to see any clips or videos or anything. I put this one together real quick just to show you guys kind of an example of what I was talking about. But it's been a really intriguing or a really fun time for content creators with all of these glitches. There's a glitch where as you're swinging through the air, if you fall into the ground just right, you fall through the map underneath the city. For some reason, there's a layer of water underneath the city, so you swim through. Sometimes when you get stuck in the map, you'll just continuously dive and dive and dive until your character just dies. I've seen glitches where there are NPC characters that have 2 heads. Glitches where Spider-Man's face gets stuck in one spot, and no matter where he moves, his chin stays there. So a lot of glitches that need to be fixed within Miles Morales, but ultimately I haven't heard any negative responses to them. To be honest with you, it's just been fun for content and fun for YouTube videos and YouTube creators to kind of have a heyday with this and make some good content. I've had a lot of fun researching it, and the palette one. The palette one that's right here right now is just hysterical to me. Moving on to Cyberpunk 2077. This game did get pushed back. Now, this is going to be the last one we talk about tonight, so I appreciate you guys all sticking it through to this point. Cyberpunk 2077. as we knew, was pushed back until December 10th, I believe is the right date. There have been rumors of people already getting their hands on copies of the game. Also rumors of people streaming the game out there. So be super wary of leaks about the game and gameplay information. Again, me and my researcher were trying to go through this, and Eternal Foxfire and I had a hard time finding people that were actually streaming the game, as opposed to streaming under that game title and streaming games that looked relatively similar to the game. There was one legitimate streamer that we thought might have had his hands on an early copy and playing the game, but keep an eye out on Twitch and keep an eye out for people trying to poach your views just saying they're playing Cyberpunk 2077. It does appear that people are streaming it on Twitch. Like I said, we found at least one person that seemed relatively legitimate, and of course, before the game comes out, there are going to be influencers that get sent the game. There's going to be content creators that get sent the game. There's going to be tech reviewers and game reviewers that get sent the game. One last thing I did want to mention about Cyberpunk 2077 and its pushback to December 10th is the fact that they're completely utilizing this time to make the game as completely acceptable and playable as possible. The rumors for the initial pushback were that the PC version of this game was ready to go, ready for release, ready to be packaged and shipped. However, the console versions of the game were leaving something to be desired. Since they've had the extra time, I think it was about an extra month, to put the finishing touches on the console versions, wrap everything up that they needed to wrap up, and make sure this was a solid launch for this game, they've also taken the opportunity to adjust the soundtrack a little bit. Lately in Twitch news, there have been issues with DMCA strikes, concerns about music and sound effects playing in the game that might cause these DMCA strikes, and things of that nature in regards to copywritten recorded sound. Cyberpunk 2077 has taken it upon itself to utilize the time that they had to create what's called a streamer mode within the game. This streamer mode replaces any music that may be subject to DMCA strikes, as well as any sound effects that might be subject to DMCA strikes. They've removed those pieces of recorded audio and replace them with, what do I want to say, DMCA compatible sound effects and music. In their words, sound effects and music that are a lot less likely to get DMCA'd. So they are making an effort to make streamers happy and give streamers the opportunity to play their game that they work so hard on without having streamers fear legal repercussion for advertising their game for free. Good on Cyberpunk and the developing company for getting this taken care of. I can't commend them enough. But with all that being said, this has been Thumb on the Pulse. I do appreciate you guys sticking around for the live stream. I also appreciate all of the support you guys have given the YouTube channel in the last month or so. I'm really trying hard to work harder on it every single day. If you get the opportunity to, but haven't yet, feel free to hit that subscribe button. The little bell next to the subscribe button will let you know when I post these videos or any videos to the YouTube channel. Also, if you have anything interesting or funny or just want to say something about anything we've talked about already in the video, please feel free to leave that comment down below. You guys, I love you so damn much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you next time where we talk about the news that I find out by putting my thumb on the pulse. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Gotta up.